We're all weird, bro. Normal people don't hike 2,200-mile trail in their 70s. And you get in these bubbles where you're with the same hikers for a few days. So I pull over and I turn around and there's Growler and Coors Light and another lady, and they're all naked.
Most stories about the Appalachian Trail start with mountains. Rand Timmerman's starts with naked hikers. After spending decades living separate lives, two brothers in their 70s set out to walk more than 2,000 miles together. What they found wasn't just adventure. It was friendship, grief, laughter, community, and a trail full of people who were every bit as unusual as they were. I'm your host, Heather Holt, and welcome to Change Happened, Then What? This is part 2 of my conversation with Rand Timmerman. It was March 21st, 2018, Springer Mountain, Georgia. For most people standing at the southern end of the Appalachian Trail, the journey ahead feels impossible. More than 2,000 miles, 14 states, mountains, weather, injuries, loneliness, and no guarantees. For Rand Timmerman and his brother Ronnie, it may have felt even more impossible. They weren't 25 anymore. They were not professional athletes. They were two brothers in their 70s, one carrying grief, the other carrying recovery. And somehow, after a phone call that should have remained a passing thought, they found themselves standing at the beginning of one of the longest hiking trails in the world.
Left Springer Mountain and with a horde of other hikers on March 21st of 2018.
A horde. Not exactly the image most people picture when they imagine a wilderness experience. But the Appalachian Trail has its own culture, its own language, and its own strange little society moving north one step at a time. Almost immediately, Rand discovered that this wasn't just a hiking trail. It was a community.
And you get in these bubbles where you're with the same hikers for a few days. See them every day, and then at some point they either faster than you or they take a day off and you go ahead or whatever. And then you're in a different bubble.
On the trail, nobody introduces themselves with resumes. They introduce themselves with sore feet, trail names, and stories. And for two brothers who had spent decades living mostly separate lives, there was something unusual about sharing every day together. Breakfast, miles, mountains, and conversations that couldn't be interrupted by busy schedules or everyday responsibilities. Just two brothers and a very long trail.
And then Ron, one night was tired, he goes, "There's a lot of weird people out here, bro." And I go, "Ron, everybody out here is weird." He goes, "No, Rand, you and I are not weird. We're normal." I said, "No, we're not." We're all weird, bro. Normal people don't hike 2,200-mile trail in their 70s. They just don't, okay?
It's one of those conversations that sounds funny on the surface, but underneath, it's something deeper. The trail had already started changing the way they saw themselves, because out there, age mattered less. Status mattered less. The things that usually separate people become harder to find. Everyone was carrying a pack. Everyone was tired. Everyone was headed in the same direction. And there's something about walking that creates room for conversations that might never happen anywhere else. No TV, no errands to run, no distractions, just miles of trees and sky and silence.
You know, it's funny too, Heather, on the trail one morning, Ronnie spontaneously said to me, you know, the best part about Edie, bro? I said, no, what was that? And he said, every morning when she woke up, she was smiling. She was happy to be alive. Now, they were married 47 years.
47 years, thousands of mornings. And after all those years, that's what Ronnie remembered. Not the big moments, but the ordinary ones. A smile at the beginning of a day. The trail was giving the brothers something they hadn't really had before. Time. Time to become more than brothers who shared a last name. Time to become friends. The Appalachian Trail is often described as a wilderness experience, and technically that's true. There are mountains, streams, and forests. Long stretches of silence. But what surprised Rand most wasn't the wilderness. It was the people.
And you get these bubbles where you're with the same hikers for a few days.
The trail has a rhythm all its own. People move at similar speeds, camp at similar places, and stop at the same shelters. Before long, strangers become familiar faces, not because you've known them for years, because you've shared miles. And on the trail, miles count for something. Out there, legal names, those begin to disappear, and trail names begin to appear. The names that you earn along the way. Sometimes they're meaningful, sometimes ridiculous, and sometimes both.
And I look at him and he goes, Rambo, because that was my trail name. Ronnie gave it to me.
Randbo, a trail name that probably tells you everything you need to know, or maybe nothing at all.
But I had been in a bubble with this guy his trail name was Growler. This guy was like 6'4". He looked like Paul Bunyan with a beard. I mean, the guy was a monster, right? He was a machine. And then he had this beautiful young girl with him, and her name was Coors Light. That was her trail name.
If you're like me and you've never hiked the Appalachian Trail, that sentence probably raises more questions than answers. Honestly, it did for me too.
And I hear somebody coming up behind me, so I pull over and I turn around, and there's Growler and Coors Light and another lady, and they're all naked.
And just like that, the story takes a turn nobody saw coming.
Climbing Hogback Mountain. You can't make this stuff up. And I look at him and he goes, Rambo, don't you know this is Naked Day on the Appalachian Trail? I looked at him and said, well, Growler, I'm going to do you all a favor.
I just love that story because it's not really about naked hikers. It's what it says about the trail itself. Somewhere along the way, people stop pretending. Their masks come off. Sometimes, literally, people become who they are, not who they think they're supposed to be. And for two brothers in their 70s, that environment created something unexpected. Freedom. Not the freedom of youth, but the freedom that comes from no longer needing to impress anybody.
I'm never coming this way again. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to take pictures. The people were amazing.
For perhaps the first time in their lives, they were surrounded by people who understood exactly why they were there. Not because they had the same history, but because they shared the same road, or, in this case, the same trail. And eventually, every conversation ends. The campfire goes out, every shelter gets left behind, and every morning the mountains are still waiting. The friendships made the trail richer. The stories made it memorable. But the miles still had to be walked. And before long, the Appalachian Trail began demanding far more from their bodies than it ever did from their sense of humor.
Get over 13 miles that day. I got up to the top. I'm standing there with my arms and my poles up in the air like victory, making a huge V with a big smile on my face. It was one of the best days I had on the trail, for sure.
One of the things I noticed about listening to Rand talk about the trail is that he rarely describes it as heroic. He talks about it more like weather, something you wake up and deal with, something that doesn't care how you feel, how old you are, or how badly your knees hurt. When you get out of your sleeping bag in the morning, the trail is simply waiting. And every day it asks you the same question. Are you still coming?
33 days at one point without a break. We averaged 11 miles a day, 50,000 steps a day. I mean, it's insane. Climbing these mountains is insane.
40 to 50,000 steps a day for weeks. Most of us struggle to imagine it, not because of the distance, because of the same routine. Wake up, pack up, walk, climb, walk, eat, sleep, and then do it all again tomorrow. There's a rhythm to long-distance hiking, and eventually that rhythm becomes its own world. The next shelter, the next meal, the next water source. Life becomes remarkably simple and remarkably difficult at exactly the same time.
You cannot eat enough food to maintain your weight. So by the time we got into New York, and we'd hiked already, like I said, we already hiked almost 1,500 miles. Ronnie and I both weighed like 155. That last day, I had no idea Ronnie was ready to throw in the towel, so to speak. But it was 100 degrees. It was 100% humidity. I mean, it was a horrible day.
Rand's photographs are beautiful. His stories are funny. The views were spectacular. But the trail had another side. Sweat, blisters, exhaustion. The kind of fatigue that settles into your bones. The kind that follows you into your sleeping bag at night. And unlike a weekend hike, there isn't really an off switch.
What I didn't know is that we were both in pretty good shape.
Being in shape, that helped. But being in shape and hiking the Appalachian Trail are not the same thing. The trail has a way of finding weakness in you didn't know existed. Physical ones, emotional ones, and sometimes both. And what I think is interesting is that neither brother spent much time talking about quitting. Not because it never crossed their minds, but because they had already survived harder things. War, addiction, loss, caregiving, and grief. Compared to those things, a mountain is just a mountain.
And when I got to we always camped on the trail. So when I got to where he wasn't unpacking or anything. He was just standing there and he said, "You want to go home?" I said, "Okay."
And there it is, the question. Not shouted, not dramatic, just two tired brothers standing on a mountain, wondering if maybe they had done enough.
I figured we were done. Never would have written the book or anything, but...
Nearly 1,500 miles. Most people would have called that a victory, an extraordinary accomplishment, a story worth telling for the rest of their lives.
Next year, he said, "You want to try to finish it?" And I said, "Sure."
Sure. One word, spoken as casually as if they were making plans for lunch. Not discussing another 700 miles of mountains, not discussing aging bodies, or the reality that the trail was becoming harder, not easier. Just sure. The thing about long journeys is that they slowly convince you that impossible things might actually be possible, until eventually you stop asking whether you can do it and you start asking how much further you can go. What neither brother knew yet was that the trail still had one more lesson waiting for them, one that neither determination nor experience could prevent. Because sometimes the challenge isn't whether you're willing to continue. Sometimes the challenge is accepting that your body may have a different plan for you. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Liminal Luna. Liminal Luna is a guided journaling app designed to help you slow down, reflect, and make sense of the moments that shape your life. Whether you're navigating change, processing difficult seasons, or simply trying to become more intentional with your thoughts, Liminal Luna creates space for meaningful reflection. You can start your journey for free at liminalluna.com and use code CHANGE at checkout. And now, back to the trail.
So I have hammer toes and they all got bloody.
The trail has a way of collecting small injuries: a sore knee, a swollen ankle, a pulled muscle. The kind of things hikers joke about over dinner. The kind of things that usually heal.
And I got blood infection, didn't know it. I thought my leg just hurt. And by the time I ended up in the hospital, the doctor said I was going to be septic in about 12 hours if I hadn't come in.
When you're committed to finishing something, it can be difficult to tell the difference between discomfort and danger, especially when you've spent a lifetime pushing through, and especially when you've survived things much worse than hiking a trail. Then came Wilcox Mountain.
And then on Wilcox Mountain in Massachusetts, I damn near died on that one. The left pole slipped. I tried to correct with my right pole, and then it spun me around, and instead of just falling on my face like 5 feet from the top of the mountain, I swan dive off that rock slide. I broke my hip. I didn't realize I broke it.
Just like that. No dramatic music, no warning. One step, one slip, and everything changed. That's how quickly life can divide itself into a before and after. Before the diagnosis, the accident, before the phone call, or before the fall. And suddenly, the story you've been telling yourself no longer fits.
And we got to Mount Washington. I was in so much pain for my hip then. We had to carry full packs to get over Washington, and we started out, got about halfway up the first mile or so. And I turned around and looked at Ronnie, and I just started crying. I was just like, I can't do it, bro. I'm done.
Not because he lacked determination, courage, or wanting it bad enough. Done because sometimes our bodies make decisions before our hearts are ready to accept them. For a man who had spent months imagining the finish line, that realization carries its own grief. There are these moments in our lives when love looks like holding on, and then there are moments when love looks like letting someone continue without you.
He went back and finished it with Rick, and I had my hip replaced while he was doing that.
The brothers had started this journey together. Now, for the first time, they were facing the possibility that they might not finish it together. And sitting inside that reality was a question neither mountain nor trail could answer. If the finish line wasn't the point, then what was? For much of this story, it would be easy to focus on the miles, the mountains, injuries, statistics, accomplishments. But listening to Rand talk about the Appalachian Trail, I kept finding myself drawn somewhere else, back to the people, the relationships, to the things that can't be measured on a map. Because while the trail may have started as a challenge, it became something much bigger than that. And let's be honest, most of us will never hike 2,000 miles. Most of us will never stand on Springer Mountain wondering what waits somewhere beyond the horizon. But all of us know what it feels like to carry something: grief, regret, fear, addiction, questions, the weight of our own stories. And maybe that's why this story resonates so deeply with people who hear it. Because at its heart, it isn't really about hiking. It's about what happens when people keep moving forward.
Oh my God, so many stories. And then most of them are in the book. That's part of why it's called Spiritual Passage.
A spiritual passage, not because every answer was found or every problem disappeared, but because somewhere along the way, two brothers found something neither of them expected: each other. For their entire lives, they had loved each other. But on the trail, they came to know each other. Not through the family gatherings, holidays, or phone calls, but through shared miles, hardship, laughter, and long conversations beneath open skies. The trail gave them mountains, but it also gave them memories, story, healing, perspective, and perhaps most importantly, time. Time that neither brother knew they needed. When I think back to where this story began, I don't think about the trail. I think about a little boy standing in front of a Christmas tree, a father on crutches, a family struggling to survive. I think about the war, addiction, and marriages, about losing faith and finding it again, because none of those chapters happened separately. They all led here. The trail wasn't where the story started. It was simply where everything else finally came together. And before we close, I ask Rand the two questions I ask every guest who joins me on this podcast. Rand, what keeps you smiling today?
Having a family, having my grandkids, being able to do a lot of things, like split wood for 2 hours today. But mostly it's helping people. I go to a meeting every day. I usually work with a guy either before or after the meeting for a half an hour or so. And that just gives me tremendous joy every day. I'm going to do it till I can't.
And what wisdom would you leave with anyone hearing your story today?
Don't give up on yourself. Admit your difficulties. Pray to that higher power that you may or may not believe in, but I believe there is a higher power. How about making it the creator of the universe, 15 billion years of experience, strength, and knowledge, and wisdom that an 80-year-old man doesn't even have a clue.
If you'd like to learn more about Rand Timmerman, I've included links in today's show notes to connect with him and visit his website. You'll also find information about his book, The Spiritual Passage, which chronicles this remarkable Appalachian Trail journey through Rand's journal entries, reflections, and more than 500 breathtaking photographs captured along the trail from Georgia to Maine. The images alone are worth the visit. They offer a glimpse into the mountains, the people, the challenges, and the beauty that accompanied this journey every step of the way. If today's story connected with you, I'd love to invite you to join this month's What Changed Me Challenge. You'll find the details on our website at changehappenedpodcast.com. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. No spam, no junk, just a little extra love in your inbox once a month. Until next week, whether you're standing at the beginning of the trail, somewhere in the middle, or wondering where the next step will lead, I hope you keep finding your way. Today's episode was written, edited, and produced by me, Heather Holt, with supervision and a lot of interruptions from Waylon and Dalton at Holt Hill Studios.
Seed must split before it grows. The mountain shakes before it shows. The river claws through rock and clay before it finds the open bay. The dawn must tear the edge of night to give the world its second light. The oak must strain against the storm to shape its roots and harden form. The heart must break to learn its beat. The loss must burn to make us sweet. The climb must hurt to lift the soul. The fight must forge the shining whole. So welcome, wait and call it grace. No progress blooms without the brave.